So throughout my life, I really haven't been able to play a lot of MMORPGs because I've never had the time. I've always been too busy, and of course, MMORPGs take up a lot of time, or at least they can. But recently, with the fact that most of us, or many of us, have been quarantined or at least working from home, as well as eating at home a lot more, it really has opened up a lot more time for us to try out some more stuff. And when Aura Kingdom reached out to me to do a sponsored video like this one about their game, I said, sure, I'll give it a shot. I'll try playing Aura Kingdom and seeing if I like it. And I did give Aura Kingdom a shot. Because now that we have more time at home to do things, we might as well spend our time doing something fun and interacting with other people, working with them, and sort of just enjoying ourselves and being relaxed while also going on an adventure. And that's what Aura Kingdom is. And the best part about it that kind of shocked me is the fact that the game is free. I'm not kidding either. You can download the game to your PC right now for free. And just to clarify, for the purposes of this video, we will be talking about the PC version of the game, not the mobile versions, just the PC version of Aura Kingdom. As expected, like many other MMOs, when you start the game, you got to create your character and pick, of course, a class. And they have different kinds of classes in this game based on your gameplay style. You've got magic users, you've got long-range weapons, you've got support classes, and then you've got the ones that I like, which is up close and personal, up right in your face. The ones that use powerful melee attacks and weapons to wipe away one or a group of enemies. That's the kind of way that I like to play. Even though there's other ways that I like to play too for fun, and you can certainly experiment here with this game, I started off by picking the Holy Sword class. But if you don't like that, that's okay. There's also bards, you've got grenadiers, you've got gunslingers, which I definitely want to try on a future gameplay. You've got Ravagers, and you've got the classic Guardian, which is like the archetypical hero, but you don't have to play as that if you don't want to. After you select the class, you then can go in and customize the character's aesthetics, the gender, the face, hairstyle, hair color, eye color. Of course, I picked blue hair because, yeah, you know why. You can customize their outfits, you can customize everything, just the way they look, to however you want. Then when you get into the game, what they do is they put you in this sort of like mini tutorial level, which is designed to get you to kind of understand the mechanics of the game, how to move around, how to attack, how to use abilities, things of that nature, which will come in handy when you play the real game. You get a real good early look at the graphics, the characters, the world that you're going to be exploring in Aura Kingdom. You also get to see how you start things like quests and missions and things like that. So even if you never meet up with anybody else online, you can play a lot of the game just by yourself and have fun that way. But you're not really by yourself because this game provides a sort of partner for you, I guess you can say, a familiar, so to speak, and those are called Eidolons. There are 80 Eidolons available, and they have different forms and unique designs. A lot of them are farmable, and they work with you in battle. And they help you defeat tough bosses and just help you clean up on certain missions when necessary. And part of the fun of playing the game is you discover more as you go through. So I'm sitting here just running around doing missions and quests and, hacking and slashing. But there's more to the game than just that because the game does provide interesting mini games within the game. When the time comes, the game gives you a tutorial on how to fish, on how to cook, and there's also a card battle, and there's even a way you can house and farm your own property. So you actually get to put furniture down when you find a place you want to stay at, interact with the furniture, bathtubs, beds, and things like that. So it's got like a little bit of simulation aspects to it. Not really necessary to the core gameplay, but something that I think is interesting nonetheless. Especially for those of us who grew up with games where you build things and, lots of different sort of creativity outlets or creative outlets. This game does give you multiple ways of doing so. But here's one that blew my mind. I haven't gotten to this part yet, but apparently within the game, there is a way to get married, literally have a wedding in the game between yourself and another character. Usually when you see these kinds of romances in games, a lot of times it's forced and not really your choice. But with the aspect of Aura Kingdom being an MMORPG, you are the character, and thus you choose to get married if you want to. If you're into that lovey-dovey stuff, hey, go for it. Get married and live happily ever after in your custom-built house. But if you're not, that's okay. Just be like me and go around hacking these cute little furry animals and sometimes these scary crab monsters as well as some of these giant frightening bosses you have to face off against. In some cases, you can't even do it alone. Either your Eidolons have to be there with you or your guilds. Now, obviously, when it comes to guilds and things like that, that's something that you have to develop friendships for, or at least it helps, but it is a feature in Aura Kingdom for old school MMORPG players who like doing that kind of thing. But you do get access and unlock several features that could help your gaming experience be more fun. For example, you can spawn Eidolons, you have access to several NPCs, you can rent NPCs, and you can sort of come together with your guild to plan out quests and work together. It really is a fun sort of uniting experience, especially for us who are quarantined and need somebody there for us. Even in the video game world, it helps. It does help if necessary, but it's not really something I've really explored too much in my playthrough of Aura Kingdom just yet. Now, another feature that I was told about, but I don't really have access to currently, is the arena feature. There's 5 different arenas with 5 versus 5, 10 versus 10, or even 50 versus 50 battles. And there's also something called a sky tower to test your endurance, which is 40 people raiding in 40 rooms. So there's always going to be some kind of new challenge in the game that will provide entertainment and fun, hopefully, as well as maybe some frustration, but hey, that's what video games do, right? You got to keep trying. The vast majority of the missions that I've been doing have been a lot of quests involving going and being told to go and find a certain kind of monster and destroy it, usually in larger numbers, and that's a good way to kind of train and get your experience up and also get better items and better equipment for your character to make him stronger and to also evolve, because the way the game sort of works with leveling up is you don't just level up in the traditional sense. You can actually pick a pathway to sort of enhance skills and elements and abilities for your character, but there's also something called the fortification system where you can get potential upon fail, no item loss, and farmable in-game features and loyalty points as well. The other kind of mission I've done besides, go hunt this thing down and get this, is also missions where you have to find certain items and bring them back to somebody, and that lets you sort of explore the world and see different parts of the map and find different sort of objects you can use later on for different purposes, like giving it to certain people to mix it together and create better items. But what I find to be the most interesting aspect of the game, in my personal opinion, is the Eidolons, and not just getting them and increasing their stats and activate special costumes and powers, but also their background stories and their skills, I think, are also pretty interesting and, something that adds a bit of lore. They're not just random characters that just pop up or random beasts. They actually have a backstory to them, and each one is, it varies a little bit different from the other one. But either way, it's something that I find, again, not really a monster catching type of thing, because they do fight with you, but I guess it could kind of be viewed as that if you want to view it that way. But it's just another aspect of the game, and that is one thing I will give the game props for, is that there are different things to do in the game instead of just going around and doing the same thing over and over again. It tries not to be repetitive in that you've got different quests and different things to discover about the game as you go through. There's even a feature called Gaia Chronicles, where it's basically a mini game where you can send teams of your Eidolons to fight monsters along the way. And each chapter gives you a special background story for each different Eidolon. So the Eidolon system really is kind of a hybrid of a lot of different classic RPG styles put together into one, I guess sub-game within a game, but also part of the main game. It's just another thing you can do in the game. I should have mentioned this earlier when it comes to grinding, because I am very old school, so I'm very accustomed to grinding, and that's kind of my style. So if you don't like it, you don't have to do it, but I do like it. But the game does reward you, because I should have mentioned it earlier, but the max level you can take your characters to is 115. And getting there will take you some time, some missions, some leveling up, and that's just part of the fun of Aura Kingdom. So overall, I have to say that I do enjoy my time playing Aura Kingdom. I think it's a good way to kind of spend some time if you are alone, if you're quarantined, and if you aren't really having a long commute and you're kind of at home, or if you're just temporarily not working for whatever reason. It is a free game. I must remind you, it is a free game. I will leave a link in the description for you to check out the game. And one thing I should let you know about is that there's no gimmicks here and no hidden fees. You just download the game and play. You don't have to put in any kind of, bank information or credit card. That's not how the game works at all. Download, create an account, start the game, and get rolling with Aura Kingdom. Then you do what I said. Pick your class and go to work. Thanks again for watching this unique video I did on Aura Kingdom, sponsored by Aura Kingdom, and I hope you have a great day and happy questing.